Want to speak real German from your first lesson? Sign up for your free lifetime account at GermanPod101.com.
In this series, you'll master German pronunciation. Proper pronunciation is essential in German, and in this series, you'll learn it in a fast, comprehensive, and easy way. In this first lesson, you'll learn about the building blocks of the German pronunciation system that will help you in future lessons. The letters used in German are the same as the letters you use in English, with the exception of one new letter and some letters with 2 dots over them. But be careful not to fall into a very common trap. As you're learning to speak correctly, you shouldn't concern yourself with all the letters. That's right, forget them. You care about the sounds of German, and here they are. There are 28 consonant sounds and 17 vowel sounds. You can form every single word in German by using these sounds. Still seem complicated? Well, how about this? Of the 28 consonant sounds in German, you already know 20 of them. That's right. If you're a native English speaker, then you already make these sounds every day. You can also ignore 7 of the vowel sounds for the same reason. The only thing standing between you and perfect German pronunciation are 8 new consonant and 10 new vowel sounds. You can handle that. Now let me introduce Alisa, who will be helping you to master these new sounds.
Hallo, ich bin Alisa.
Alisa will be giving you native pronunciation examples to imitate. But for this first lesson, just sit back and listen to the unique sounds of German.
Nicht, Apfel, Rost, Rübe, Schmarrn, Zahl, Kuchen, bearbeiten, füllt, über, Fuß, Seele, Öl, aber, Hölle, Ober, Wasser, Bahn.
In the next lesson, we'll look at the top 5 pronunciation mistakes German learners make. You'll want to make sure not to fall into these common traps. After that, we'll begin going through the vowels and consonants of German. This is your chance to learn how to correctly say all of the words you just heard. We'll finish up the series by covering some special topics that will really make your German sound natural. To close this lesson, here's a question for you. Why is it important to spend time on learning proper pronunciation, even if you're already an advanced speaker? The answer? You will be understood, and this will help you build more confidence as you communicate in German. For beginners, you're creating a strong foundation to build on. And for more advanced students, this is your chance to improve your accent and lose any bad habits you may have picked up. These are common mistakes that students of German tend to make. So pay close attention and make sure that you don't make these same mistakes too. Are you ready? Then let's get started. Number 1. Pronouncing German words with an English accent. English and German have many words in common, so the tendency is to pronounce them as you would pronounce them in English. Compare a few English words with their German derivatives. Pretzel,
Brezel,
bagel,
Bagel,
cobalt,
Kobalt,
Autobahn.
Autobahn.
The difference is quite obvious. Be sure to always pronounce words using German consonant and vowel sounds when speaking German. Get out of the habit of pronouncing these words as you would in English. While it may feel unnatural to say these words in a different manner than what you're used to, realize that it actually sounds more natural to native German listeners. Number 2. Under-enunciating vowels and final syllables. While both English and German have vowel reductions of some sort, English is much more lax than German. This means that many English speakers tend to under-enunciate vowels. The same applies to final syllables as well. Take, for example,
Ich habe mir heute ein Stück Kuchen gegönnt.
Learners of German would often be unclear in these problem areas. The problem gets worse when an indirect or direct object is involved, as this makes it even more difficult for a listener to understand what it is exactly you're trying to say.
In meinem Auto habe ich eine Spinne entdeckt. Ich habe mir einen Koffer gekauft.
As you can see, both markers for the indirect and the direct object are quite similar. If you do not enunciate the endings clearly, you'll be difficult to understand. Number 3. Using the wrong intonation. Students of German often use the incorrect pitch when saying a complete sentence or question. When you connect phrases leading up to a complete sentence, the endings of each phrase should rise in pitch. It's only at the final phrase of the sentence that the pitch falls if it's a statement. Take a look at this example.
Marie macht das Fenster zu, denn ihr ist kalt.
Notice how the pitch rises at the end of the first clause and falls at the end of the sentence?
Würden Sie mir verraten, wie ich zum Bahnhof komme?
Once again, the pitch rises at the end of the first clause, but this time the pitch also rises at the end since it's a question. Number 4, mispronouncing the German R.
R.
English speakers typically associate all R-like sounds with some manner of articulation using the tip of the tongue and somewhere in the front part of the mouth. The German R, however, actually comes from the throat using the back of the mouth. Listen to a few examples which use this letter.
Rost, Rast, Rutsch.
We'll take an in-depth look at pronouncing German R sounds in Lesson 6. Number 5, mispronouncing consonant combinations with the letter S. When combined with other consonants in German, the letter S typically changes to a sh sound. When S is paired with an H,
Show, Schare, Ware.
when S is paired with CH,
Scheck, komisch, Fisch.
when S is paired before a P at the beginning of a word or the first syllable,
Spiel, sprechen.
when S is paired before a T at the beginning of a word or the first syllable.
Stadt, studieren.
As you can see, there are many instances in which the letter S changes to a sh sound. We'll cover more of this in Lesson 8. Now you know the top 5 German pronunciation mistakes to avoid. Try to be careful so that you don't make these same mistakes. Still feel a bit worried? Over the rest of this series, we'll cover all of these topics in depth.
Want to get cheat sheets, audiobooks, lessons, apps, and much more every month for free? Just click the link in the description to get your free language gifts of the month.
In this lesson, you'll learn all 17 German vowel sounds.
A, O, Ö, E, Ö, Ä, Ä, E, I, Ü, I, Ü, O, O, U, U.
With these sounds, you can pronounce any vowel that could possibly appear in German. Some vowels may be hard for you to distinguish, especially for English speakers, so make sure you listen carefully. Are you ready? Then let's get started. The first vowel is
A, maximal, Wasser, Dach.
It's very similar to the A sound in the word pat, though not as whiny. Try moving your tongue further back into the mouth so that it assumes a more centralized position. It should sound a little deeper as a result, and instead of a whiny sound, it now has a darker quality to it. The resulting vowel should sound somewhere in between the A sounds of the words pat and bra. Listen to Elisa.
A, 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 A,
The next vowel is
A, Bahn, Saal, Vater.
This is identical to the previous sound, except it's held for twice as long.
A, 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 A,
The next vowel is
O, oder, aber, Ober.
This is identical to the previous sound, except that the tongue is raised a tiny bit higher. The sound typically occurs at the end of a word and is pronounced softly.
O, O. O, O.
The next vowel is
Ö, Hölle, göttlich, erörtern.
This sounds roughly like the U in the word hurt. To pronounce this sound, however, try saying the E sound in the word red while rounding your lips.
Ö, 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 Ö.
The next vowel is
E, Seele, Meer, Beet.
This sounds a little bit like the double E in the word feet, except your tongue is not as high. Try to relax your jaw and say it as if to allow the vowel to spill out. Listen to Elisa.
E, 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 E.
The next vowel is
Ö, öde, hören, schön.
This is identical to the previous sound, except that the lips are rounded. Try to say the word play while rounding your lips.
Ö, Ö. Ö, Ö.
The next vowel is
Ä, hätte, Männer, Bett.
It's identical to the E sound in the word red.
Ä, Ä. Ä, Ä.
The next vowel is
Ä, Wähle, spät, Länge.
This is identical to the previous sound, except that it's pronounced twice as long.
Ä, Ä. Ä, Ä.
The next vowel is
E, halte, behalten, gesund.
It's identical to the E sound at the end of the word problem.
E, E. E, E.
The next vowel is
I, viel, Bibel, Ziel.
It's identical to the double E sound in the word see.
I, I. I, I.
The next vowel is
Ü, über, Mykene, Rübe.
It's identical to the previous sound, except that the lips are rounded. Try saying the word see while rounding your lips.
Ü, Ü. Ü, Ü.
The next vowel is
I, bitte, willig, bist.
It's identical to the I sound in the word it.
I, I. I, I.
The next vowel is
Ü. Füllt, Rhythmus, schützen.
It's identical to the previous sound, except that the lips are rounded. Try saying the word it while rounding your lips.
Ü, Ü. Ü, Ü.
The next vowel is
O, voll, kommen, Ort.
It's identical to the OU sound in the word ought.
O, O. O, O.
The next vowel is
O, oder, Boot, Moos.
This is very similar to the previous sound, except your tongue is positioned a little bit higher. It's quite similar to the O sound in the word O, though be careful not to carry over the W sound too much. Listen to Elisa.
O, O. O, O.
The next vowel is
U, Fuß, Blume, Hut.
It's identical to the double O sound in the word boot.
U, U. U, U.
And the last vowel is
U. Schutz, kurz, Putz.
It's identical to the double O sound in the word took.
U, U. U, U.
Well done! You've just learned all 17 vowels in German.
A, O, Ö. E, Ö, Ä, Ä, E, I, Ü, I, Ü, O, O, U, U.
In this lesson, you'll learn the basics of German pronunciation. German uses the exact same letters as English. It also uses one extra character and has unique markers which look like two dots appearing over some vowels.
But let's try not to focus and rely on the German letters too much. Let's focus on the sounds. There are a total of 28 consonant sounds and 17 vowel sounds in German. The good news is that most of these sounds are identical to English. A, E, I, O, U.
As you heard, these vowels don't sound that different from English.
One thing to note, though, is that German vowels are pronounced much more clearly than English. We also have more vowel sounds than English, so that's why it's very important that we pronounce them clearly. Unlike English, we try to maintain a constant pitch from start to finish without tapering off. A, E, I, O, U.
Some vowel sounds will be unfamiliar to you.
Some vowels, such as A, O, and U, can have two dots over them. We call these dots Umlaute. They indicate a change in the original pronunciation of the vowel. Compare the following pairs of vowels. A, Ä, O, Ö, U, Ü. The vowels with the two dots over them are essentially a combination between the vowel and the E sound. Sometimes they're represented as AE, OE, or UE.
Now let's take a look at German consonants. Like vowels, German consonants are predominantly similar to English.
B, D, F,
Other consonant sounds, however, may be a little more challenging.
Rost, Rübe, Schmarrn. These are the sounds that you need to focus on perfecting.
Okay, let's move on. Some consonants in German aren't actually pronounced as they look to an English speaker. Let's take a look at some of these letters.
The German V isn't pronounced like an English V, but as an F sound. So both V and F in German are pronounced as an F sound. Vogel, Fett.
The German W, on the other hand, is pronounced like a V sound.
Wasser, Wagen. German is also notorious for its Ich and Ach sounds.
The German CH isn't pronounced like the CH in church.
Ich, Licht, Recht.
It could also be pronounced another way.
Wach, Dach, noch.
The former is pronounced closer to the front of the mouth, while the latter is pronounced at the back of the mouth. Next is the SCH. This one is actually pronounced like the sh in sheet.
Schmal, Schnell, Schlaf.
Now that you have gained a better understanding of German sounds, let's take a closer look at some common mistakes and how to fix them. We mentioned before that English speakers do not maintain the pitch of the vowel throughout. This often occurs because English speakers tend to glide on the vowel, needlessly adding a Y sound as they prolong the vowel.
When pronouncing German vowels, try to maintain the same pitch throughout the vowel. Bad, Nebel, Igel, Ohr, U-Boot. Bär, blöd, über.
Another challenging sound is the German guttural R sound.
Rund, Rast.
You want to produce the sound at the back of your throat, as if you're gargling water. Try it.
R, R.
Well done! In this lesson, you were introduced to German pronunciation. You learned that English and German share a lot of similar consonant and vowel sounds. You also learned that German vowels are pronounced evenly throughout. And in this lesson, you were introduced to some unfamiliar German sounds and the common mistakes that learners make. You've decided to study a new language. So now what? Well, you want to become fluent fast, right? Here are the top 5 shortcuts to learning a language. Number 1, create a study schedule and set some goals. Many language learners are unorganized. Creating a schedule allows you to free up time to study consistently. Goals give you motivation and something to strive for. Number 2, make it fun. If you learn how to make your study time enjoyable, chances are you'll be more inclined to study. Watch a TV show with subtitles or listen to some music. Number 3, find a language partner. This is the best way to improve your conversation skills. It will help you gain fluency even faster and increase confidence when speaking. Number 4, use word lists to build up a solid vocabulary. This is a great way to build up your fluency, one word at a time. Luckily, we have all the word lists you need, with a range of topics, from food to love. Choose whichever language you want to study and go. Number 5, don't be afraid to make mistakes. Nothing helps you improve more than correcting your own errors. You're more likely to remember it correctly the next time around. Everyone makes mistakes. Don't be afraid to learn from them. There's no magical way to learn a new language overnight, but doing all of these can really help your learning process. And remember, if you're interested in getting on the fast track to fluency, sign up for your free lifetime account. No credit card required, and you'll get the best free online resources. Start learning now.
The question for this lesson is, what is the difference between Entschuldigung, entschuldigen Sie, and entschuldige? Let's start from the beginning. The verb entschuldigen can be literally translated as to take away the guilt, with die Schuld meaning the guilt. This means you're asking the other person to free you from feeling guilty for whatever you're apologizing for. Both Entschuldigung and entschuldigen Sie, which are formal, and entschuldige, which is informal, are used to apologize to someone. Entschuldigen Sie und entschuldige are the imperative of entschuldigen, which means to excuse, and Entschuldigung means apology. While both expressions can often be used interchangeably, a conversation between a parent and their child might go like this. Entschuldige dich, apologize, to which the child will reply Entschuldigung, meaning apology, or more naturally in English, sorry. Entschuldigung can often stand on its own as an apology, but entschuldigen Sie or entschuldige often need another sentence to explain what you're apologizing for, such as entschuldigen Sie, dass ich zu spät war, which means excuse me being late, or entschuldigen Sie die Störung, meaning excuse the disruption. Entschuldigen Sie is formal, so this would be used at work, for example when a colleague disrupts a meeting or, very politely, simply before asking a colleague a question. Another common phrase is Entschuldigung, das wollte ich nicht, meaning apologies, I didn't want that to happen. This can be used in many situations, and the das wollte ich nicht implies that whatever you did was an accident. This phrase can be used for anything from apologizing for dropping a plate at home to apologizing to your boss for breaking your computer at work. It's usually used when your mistake was noticed by another person and that person makes you aware of what you did. Another example is ist entschuldigt, which directly translates as he's excused. This is commonly only at school when parents write a note for their children when they are sick. Their absence is then called an entschuldigt. In casual situations, for example, if a friend is a few minutes late, many people would just shorten this phrase by saying Entschuldigung. For example, Entschuldigung, ich stand im Stau, which means, sorry, I was caught in traffic. Increasingly, people also say just sorry in very casual or friendly situations.
The top hardest words to pronounce in German. Let's do this. Ähnlich. Similar. Ich sehe meinem Bruder ähnlich. I look similar to my brother. Is the A umlaut in CH, which you kind of pronounce here. And it's kind of a, I always explain it as a snake, like so ähnlich. Eichhörnchen, squirrel, squirrel. Yeah, this one is very hard because there's a lot of and then Ich finde Eichhörnchen sehr süß. I think squirrels are very cute. So Eichhörnchen. Hörnchen is the cute form of horns. So if you refer to something kind of cute and little, you always add a chen. Etikettierung, labeling. Etikett is the label, and Etikettierung is if you are labeling something. Mein Schulranzen hatte eine Etikettierung. My school bag had a label with my name on it. Hose, pants, die Hose. Ich habe heute eine Jeanshose an. Today I'm wearing jeans. Streichholzschachtel, matchbox. It's die Streichholzschachtel. So Streichholzschachtel consists of 3 different words. Streichen, Streich means rub. Holz is wood. Schachtel is box. Feuer anzuzünden, brauche ich eine Streichholzschachtel. To make a fire, I need a matchbox. Über, over. Ich finde mich übercool. I think I am super cool. Ich springe über den Zaun. I jump over the fence. So über can be used as in over a fence, like über den Zaun, but also I am übercool. Like I'm super cool. Überwachung, monitoring. Die Überwachung. You really have to watch something very closely, or so Überwachung. Gefängnisse benötigen Überwachung. Jails need monitoring. Umweltverschmutzung, pollution, die Umweltverschmutzung. Umwelt means environment and Verschmutzung means dirt or dirtiness. And heutzutage sollte sich jeder Gedanken machen über Umweltverschmutzung. Nowadays, I think it's very important that everybody should think of pollution. You don't pronounce every single letter, so it's Umweltverschmutzung, but that's why it's hard to pronounce. Wettbewerbsfähig, competitive. Fähig is something you add to a lot of things if you are capable of doing it. This one is hard as well because the HI is not very common, fähig. Der Arbeitsmarkt ist sehr wettbewerbsfähig. The work world is very competitive. Zuhören, listen. Ich hoffe, ihr hört mir zu. I hope you're listening now. Usually the Ö is pronounced very clearly, like Ö, Öl, oil. But in this case, since the H is before and the R after, it's kind of like zuhören.